Hello, salve. I'm Andri, and I do warmly welcome you all to my Literary Studies Corner. Today, I'll present you one of the most invigorating and most brilliant Latin poet, and that was Quintus Horatius Flaccus, or Horace. Quintus Horatius Flaccus was born on December 8th, 65 BC, in the town of Venusia, in the remote province of Apulia, near the heel of Italy. It was an arid, rocky, difficult, and impoverished area, and the boy's prospects there were dim. His father had been a slave, whether a kidnapped foreigner or a prisoner of war, we don't know. By the time Horace was born, however, his father had been freed. Though the poet never mentions his mother, several times in his work he writes of his great admiration for his father. How a freed man accumulated enough money and so many riches to educate his son remains a mystery. Horace himself tells us his father was quite poor on a mega farm, and there is other evidence that he may have worked as an auctioneer's agent or some kind of dealer. In any case, whether he sold the farm or was a resourceful businessman of the era, he was quite determined to give his young son the best possible education. Therefore, he took all his money and moved with the boy to Rome, where he was sent to the finest schools. Yet, after Rome, to finish his education, Horace was next sent to Athens. There he studied philosophy, Plato as well as the Stoic and Epicurean teachings. More crucially, he studied the old literature, Pindar, Sappho, Alcaeus, Anacreon, and even wrote poems in Greek himself, acquiring thereby a mastery of the intricate meters and tonal nuances that distinguish Greek language and literature from its plainer and more simpler Roman copies. Greek literature, it might be said, become really his homeland, a familiar, cherished, and beloved landscape. From the Greeks, Horace learned that power resides in discipline, that a sophisticated technique alone possesses the subtle characteristics to rise above the ordinary, and that wisdom itself, rather than finesse or sincerity or bluster, is finally the true source of poetic strength. Now I shall read you from the book 1, Ode 22nd, presented bilingually, both in Latin and in English translation. Integer vitae, scelerisque purus, non eget mauris iaculis neque arcu, nec venenatis gravidas agitis fusque faretra. Sive persirtes iter aestuosa, sive facturus per inhospitalem, Caucasum vel quae loca fabulosus lambit hidaspes. Namque me silva lupus in Sabina, dum meam canto la lagen et ultra terminum curis vagor expeditis, fugit iner mem. Quale portentum neque militaris daunias latis alit aesculetis, nec iubae telus generat, leonum arida nutrix. Ponem pigris ubi nulla campis, arbor estiva recreatur aura, quod latus mundi nebulae malusque Jupiter urget. pone sub curum nimium propinqui, solis intera domibus negata, dulce ridentem, la lagem amabo, dulce loquentem. The good man with a clear conscience doesn't need the protection fusco of Moorish spears nor arrows armed with poison tips. Even if he takes a dangerous journey across the scorching Sirtas or the forbidding Caucasus or by the distant river Indus, fearful in legend. One day, when I left the Sabine farm, avoiding my usual paths unarmed, carefree and singing of my lalage, a wolf bolted away from me, a monstrous predator more terrifying than the beasts bred in the forest of fierce Apulia or the lions of Namibia that the desert feeds. If I should be set down in an icy plain, no trees swaying, no breezes, with mists darkening the barren land that Jupiter despises, or if I were stranded where no one can live, because the sun rides so close to the earth, I would keep on loving my dear Lalage, her laughter and her love talk.